To attend, hundreds of millions of dollars spent to clean up Central Florida's biggest lake. But the question tonight is it even working?
Talking about Lake Apopka, of course, runoff from decades of fertilizer from farms that used to be here in the 50s and 60s have made Lake Apopka kind of a mess. Fox 35's Mike Snyden shows you the new approach that may finally make Lake Apopka healthy again.
While birds peck along the shoreline, Lake Apopka remains a mess 20 years after the efforts to clean this lake began.
Well, it's 4 times over normal what they call eutrophic lakes. And eutrophic is just a fancy name to mean it's imperiled. So nitrates is Lake Apopka's biggest problem. Phosphorus is a close second.
It's filthy.
Yes, it is.
The problem is muck on the bottom, in some places 15 feet deep. Look what a boat turns up when the propellers start turning.
I think the people at that time tried what they thought would be an acceptable method of restoring the lake, and it just turned out that it has taken far, far longer and a whole lot more money than they ever imagined it would.
For years and well over $100 million, the strategy was to take all of the runoff, nasty nitrates and phosphates, and just sink it to the bottom of Lake Apopka.
Good idea?
No. It ends up being organics, which ends up being muck. We've got 10 feet of muck.
The result is pea-green water, the return of some birds, but the second largest lake in the state of Florida was once the bass fishing capital of the world. Today, the scientists that are taking us out are the only boat on the water.
Would you eat the fish?
People do. If you ask me personally, I would not.
Would you eat fish out of Lake Apopka?
Only in limited quantities.
But now Jay Barfield and Allied Group are trying a new approach. One with promise. These diffusers are sunk to the bottom of the lake and they pump oxygen directly into the water.
We went out a mile from Lake Apopka's shore and got some water, and this is what it looks like. Water that's been treated by diffusing it with oxygen looks like this.
Fish in the lake are flocking to the 250 acres they've treated, and the minuscule water bubbles the diffusers make are spreading oxygen much further through this massive lake than scientists ever imagined.
It's taken 100 years or more to get in this condition. So it's not a bang, bang, we're done type thing.
Next, Allied Group plans to use bacteria to eat the dead muck on the bottom of Lake Apopka, an approach State Senator Alan Hayes says has promise.
There's that big, huge 2-letter word, if. If things go well, I think within 5 years we will see very significant improvements, and I don't think it's out of the question at all to see that lake restored within 20 years.
The oxygen diffusing treatments and bacteria are far less expensive than dredging or anything else the state's done in the last 20 years to fix this lake, and there's a bright spot for taxpayers. The Republicans in the state legislature, like Hayes, are determined to use the money voters set aside from Amendment 1 last year to make Florida's waters cleaner.
Those dollars can certainly be used to improve water quality, as I think they should be.
Until then, just a small 250-acre spot along the shore of Lake Apopka at Magnolia Park is seeing the benefits. Mike Snyden, Fox 35 News.